Brad Williams, Excel Prime. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this menu item, and when an item is missing, note it as missing, otherwise put it okay. 5 different examples, and a couple of them are sloppy. I'm sure there's a lot of different ways to do this. Here, we're going to use the COUNTIF. Then we're going to use COUNTIF in a different format. These might be duplicates. Here, we're going to just throw an ISNA in there. Here, pretty much stole everything from this VLOOKUP, and I threw it into this lookup, this old legacy lookup, to try to accomplish the exact same thing. Here, we have F9. We're going to look here, hash browns, and if they're not in the menu, we're going to say missing. Otherwise, we're going to say okay, hit F9, and you can see eggs are still missing, coffee is missing from our menu. We can see everything's missing. I think this place needs to shut down. Just keep hitting F9, and you can see bacon's in here. All we're trying to do is find a true or false, and then spit out a result. We're just doing COUNTIF. All we're doing is counting B6 to B10. Does it agree with whatever's in D6? Here, we're going to look at our range, F9. Here we're looking for bacon. What happens if it's true? Here's what COUNTIF's going to do. Logical test F9. It's going to say 1. If 1, which is value of true, value of false. Remember how if function looks at this stuff in terms of the logic. Logical test, if true, 1 is true, 0 is false. I'll give you another example, F9. F9, we're going to get missing. We're going to look here, logical test, F9, C0. Logical test, true, if false. Go here, we just grabbed the cell reference, B6 to B10. Here we use the name range. Your choice. ISNA, all we're going to do is test true or false, F9. F9, we have a false. We have a false, then we're going to kick out this missing. Bacon, F9. We're going to get a missing here. Missing, make sure hash browns, and ISNA, logical test, F9, is true. That's the NA. Now go here and hit F9. We get this NA error. That's what's kicking that in, F9. The match may throw a ISNA. In other words, if we don't have a match here, and because this is F9 to death, we're going to see this nightmare in here, this lookup value. Okay, let's look at this ISNA. Take a look here. You're going to see, and the ISNA resolves that issue. Okay, then we're matching. We're going to match D6 lookup value, the invoice here, and it's going to find whatever the first match, and that'll be a true, F9. Here we have missing again, and value, F9, is going to be 1, and we know 1 is true. Over here, lookup, this is kind of a sloppy approach, but it works. It's old school, but again, what we're looking for is true. If we look here, F9, we're going to get pancakes. Is pancakes true? Yeah. Pancakes, we find pancakes. How? We're going to use this approach, F9. If we're looking up a particular menu item, if we find it, we're going to get 1s. Our lookup value will never reach 2 because we're dividing by 1. And all we're trying to do is get a true out of this thing. We're just going to look up D6 in our invoice. We're going to compare pancakes to pancakes. If we get a true, we're going to go, okay, but we have this ISNA thrown in here because we know, F9 from the previous example, F9, that we're going to, from time to time, using this random deal, that we're going to run into this NA deal. And if that's the case, we want missing. Otherwise, we want okay. Why? Because we wrap this thing in if statement, if, ultimately F if finds true. Now below, if you don't want the NA, you could put this together. What we're going to see here, logical test, F9, we're going to get true. We're going to get this true, even though it's missing. Everything's fine, but if we remove this if error, we're going to get that NA. So we override this entire thing by this sloppy approach by throwing everything into this if error. We're going to get an OK because we did find that NA in here. Otherwise, lookup is just going to find right here, and it's going to say true. I know it's really ugly, but it does the job. And VLOOKUP did the exact same thing here with VLOOKUP. Here we're using multiple VLOOKUPs. We have a logical test, F9. F9, we're going to look up D6, and if it's true, we're going to look up VLOOKUP again. Here we have D6. We're going to look up D6, invoice 271 here. And if it equals VLOOKUP D6, so we're looking for two trues, then give us an OK. Otherwise, missing. Now it's not going to throw an NA. If we get this missing thing, it just won't do it. We wrapped it in this if error. Sloppy, but it does the job. Brad Williams, Excel Prime.